What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Kickin with Kachi, where we highlight individuals that are really taking the industry by storm. And today, we have the pleasure, the honor, and distinction sitting down with legendary artist, apparel designer, logo designer, graphic designer, Comikid Eman. Yo, thank you so much for coming in, my boy. Thank you.
Appreciate it, my Niger brother. Thanks for having me.
Yo, you know. I know Ghana, Niger, the pigeon, they bridge things, So if you gotta speak, I'll speak. We just go translate it in the comments for the.
For sure.
Yeah. So Comikid Eman, right? Obviously, if you guys don't know this guy, his style is very much out there, wild. We gonna get into all the do's and the dids with the art style, but it's definitely wacky. Think Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, 2012 to like 2016 golden era. So is that a lot of the ethos of the brand? Comikid, comic, drawing, graffiti, illustration, is that the ethos of your art style?
Yeah, definitely is. So this is my origin story. I'm 8 years old, right? Third grade. I'm in class. I remember this very well. I'm drawing Goku on the desk. I'm looking at, I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I love it, and I'm gonna go full throttle with it. So then I'm learning it's a drawing, and then I'm learning it's art. So then, as I got older, I learned more about what art really is. It's anything, it's everything. I went to an all-arts high school. I didn't go to an art college, but I still did art in my own time. I did take a graphic design class that I needed to graduate. I fell in love with that class. So yeah, it's definitely a lot of like cartoons that we grew up on, comic books too. It's like a little bit of like all of that, a little bit of everything.
And then when you are going through school, right? What did you study when you were in school?
In college or high school?
In college.
Oh, college. I studied digital media production. So what that is really everything that's media related. So it's TV production, movie production, basic video production, audio production, web design, graphic design. So like I'm taking all of these classes. The one that I was really drawn to was graphic design and the TV production, the audio production. So that definitely pulled me in. I learned more about the media world, how the media world works, how most of the equipment works. Even learn like how to like network with like individuals that's already in that industry too. So I studied digital media production.
And then, that actually why I asked is it goes into my next question, because I believe Slacktivist Vision started in college, if I'm not correct. Was they always say, right, like there's this constant back and forth between talent and then the technical education side of artistry, and which one is a little bit more important to creating things. But obviously, at the nexus of it all, both of them are equally as important. So could you speak to the importance of having one, like you said, third grade, that natural childlike wonder about art, and then now in college, bridging that with the technical education that you get from classes, professors, your own peers, as we know through Slacktivist Visions, creating a whole company? How is sort of bridging those two things beneficial for you?
That's a great question. It's definitely beneficial for me because I think of it as a way to really help people, individuals, brands, organizations with their brand identity. So brands, individuals, organizations, they're always going to need a logo. They're always going to need something to represent the face of their brand, So like, I'm thinking, okay, cool. I'm going to do something for the people. These are going to be my services. I'm going to, help these people elevate their brand. Cause like everybody, the first thing that most people will notice if they go to your page, they'll notice the logo. Like, okay, this is your brand. This is your company. This is what you're about. Okay, cool. So then they're going to want to learn more about it. So like there's also different types of logos as well. There's just like word mark logos, there's like icons, there's mascots, there's like a whole mix. So yeah, it's definitely beneficial.
And I would say in learning more about like you said, digital media production, like different facets of creating an identity, that is the visuals, that is the logo, that is the promotional graphics, right? It's all falling into itself. So then what sort of advice would you have in having such a profession that is client facing, right? Someone needs the graphic designer. So then how, or what advice would you have for other graphic designers to be needed, so to speak, to put yourself out there and gain sort of clientele?
Okay, so first off, definitely build the portfolio or build your portfolio up for sure. Connect with other designers that's in the industry as well. Collaboration over competition because there's no competition, you feel me? Learn from
I
one
love that. I
another.
love that saying, collaboration over
Yeah,
competition. I love
cause
that. I
it's
love
like
that.
it's too much like competition, like, oh, I'm better than him, I'm better than her, our
Right.
product is better, this and that. Like, why can't we just like, work together and elevate together, So it's like,
Right.
yeah, so yeah, definitely collaboration over competition. Connect with well-established designers as well. You don't have to sign up for a course, but you could just like if they're willing to give you the advice, you could definitely take some advice from them, take some notes. YouTube is your best friend. YouTube and Google are your best friends. So YouTube will be another thing to go to too. And don't force your services on people. If they need it, they'll hit you up, they'll reach out to you. Because like there's been people in the past that I'm doing the same exact work as, they'll try to force their services and products on me without even looking at my page or even looking at my website, So
right.
Definitely, but the top three things, definitely get advice from well-established designers that's already in the industry that have years of experience. Collaborate, don't compete, and don't force your services on future clientele because that's the easiest and fastest way to scare them away. I seen this concept on Instagram. It said if you chase a cat, the cat is gonna run away. But if you have what the cat wants, they'll come to you. Basically, if you have something that people need versus what people want, they'll naturally gravitate towards you.
Right.
Like your services, your products will sell itself. Oh, hey, I need a logo for my t-shirt business. Hey, can you help me? What are your prices? What are your rates? Like, how's the process work? So that's my advice for upcoming aspiring graphic designers.
And to pinpoint that point of collaboration over competition, right? Slacktivist Visions, as I get back to it. The origin story for that, as you, as you said yourself, are now collaborating with a bunch of other different minds and creating this brainchild that is this company. So how did that come to be?
Slacktivist Visions. Okay, so I'm in college now. I'm with two of my boys. I'm either in my dorm or one of their dorms. So, you get together with your boys, you're just drinking, having a good time, hooing and hollering, shaking and jogging. So I'm like, yo, you know what? I'm going to start a record label. I'm going to call it Slacktivist Records. Originally, I wanted to call it Slacktivist Records, but then I'm like, wait, you know what? Slacktivist Vision sounds way better. So Slacktivist now comes from like the word, Slacktivist is an actual word. So basically it's like you support a movement, but you don't do anything about like, oh, I support women's rights, or I support the writers, that's the TV writers, whatever, but like I'm not going out my way,
but
like
there's
actually
no physical
exactly
support.
like even like posting about like, hey, check them out, they're far from they believe it. And now visions now, I believe everything is a vision. So everything starts out as a vision and visions come to life. So I'm like, you know what? Slacktivist Vision sounds way better. So that's how Slacktivist Visions came to be, and it became official in 2020 when I got the LLC. So that's the story behind Slacktivist Visions.
And then what is the current, now we're in 2023, right? What has been the journey? What is now the current mission, and what are we looking forward to, or what to look forward to from Slacktivist Visions?
Okay, so the current journey, I mean, it's a bit slow. Clientele is like real slow, but like the goal is to really grow. The goal is to really expand. Definitely collaborate with other designers, like-minded brands as well. Keep on growing, honestly, keep on growing, keep elevated. So what to expect? I would say expect more work coming, because I have a lot of work that's in the vault from clients I've done work for in the past. So I had to keep it in the vault because you gotta respect your clients' wishes. They don't want to
you can't post with it before,
release it to the public. So I'll say expect more of that. Expect more process videos as well. Yeah, definitely more of that.
And I would talk about the process video. You talk about like you packaging your prints and you going through your art, your art process. So is education also part of the mission as well? Like, honestly, it could be, could not be, but I know for a fact I'm learning a lot of how to package my prints, and like the whole certificate and the business cards. I'm like, okay, that's kind of neat. That's kind of
yeah.
That's nice.
I'm glad you brought that up. I would say education is a part of it now, because like even I dropped the packaging video last year as a reel. It went viral. I wasn't expecting to go viral. I'm like, all right, cool. This is how I pack paintings that I sell. Feel me? So the video went up. It got like maybe like over 100 saves. So like I was just like, hey, this how I do this how I do that. XYZ. I don't think about me. I don't believe in gatekeepers. So I just tell people where I get everything, how I do this, how I do it, XYZ. I'm not losing anything, but sharing like what I know. So like definitely education is definitely in there as well. Even some people ask, hey, where do you get this? Where do you get that? I just tell them, hey, I got it from here, I got it from there, or I learned it from him, I learned it from her. So yeah, that's education is definitely a part of it too. So yeah.
And I mean, honestly speaking, like to keep a buck, like a lot of people give a lot of Black entrepreneurs a lot of hate on professionalism and presentation and how we do things and such and such. So education like that, one of it being free and other being high quality, is even helping the entire both creative and the consumer. So thank you for doing that, honestly.
Yeah, no doubt, for sure.
So as you talk about the pieces that you've worked on before, do you have a favorite piece? Do you have a favorite one that you got?
Yeah, I do. I have my top 5. So the first one I'm looking at it right now, the Stanley one that I did earlier this year.
With all the different cutouts and everything.
Yeah. I almost cried while I was working on it. Stanley's one of my biggest influences and everything. That is it's that one, the Stanley one. The second one is about self-portrait that I did. The third one is the one that's behind me, but it's blurry. The fourth one is also behind me, and then the fifth one now is this big canvas. It's the Zodiac one that I did. Now with the Zodiac one, I know a lot of people care about the Zodiac. I mean, I'm not into the Zodiac or tarot or none of that, but like, I know a lot of people talk about. I'm like, yo, you know what? I got something for y'all. Y'all the target audience for this painting. I mean, I did make it for me, but this for y'all. I did it, feel me? I put it up. It did some numbers. I wasn't expecting it to do numbers, but this is the Zodiac we talking about. So anything with Zodiac is gonna go up. So those are my top 5 favorite paintings right now. My top 5 favorite pieces right now.
And I would say, like, I was gonna ask you what your favorite medium was, but I assume it's painting over the digital.
Digital. Yeah, definitely. Digital is more flexible because you can like hit Command Z if you make a mistake. But painting drone is like more therapeutic. Like I won't have to like worry about being in front of my computer screen for like 3-4 hours. Like even if I am, I'll take a break away from it. Like, okay, cool. Half hour break. I'll probably like read a comic or something. Break, get back to it. Or even if it's like a long project or like a short project, and if I have creative freedom and the client will tell me that I can just get it to them by whenever, I'm gonna like, pace myself. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna rush it. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let me take a break. Let me rest my eyes. So yeah.
Fire, honestly. And going into like now speaking about the industry in itself, right? Like we have this very big AI boom that's going on.
Yeah.
AI going to artists, right? So as an artist yourself, visual artist, where painting, right? The age-old form of artistry that is still prevalent to this day. How do you feel about this new technology that is quote unquote threatening the artists?
Yeah, so when it first came out, I wasn't really rocking with it. Like I even made a video about it on my TikTok about how human artists are always better. But like, yeah, AI art, it's okay, it's cool. Like, it'll probably take some time for me to get used to it because, like, again, we're in the digital age, so like everything is getting digitized. Even with ChatGPT now, you can write a whole resume. You can write an artist statement, just about anything. One time I went on ChatGPT, I'm like, how do I shoot my shot with my celebrity crush? They made a whole list. I'm like, that's crazy. And then I'm like, how do I write an artist statement? So they wrote a whole artist statement. Then I asked them again. It was the same thing again and again. So like, I don't trust taking what ChatGPT said about the artist statement and making it my own. Cause like, how many other artists are using that same exact statement?
It's the lack of originality, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's the thing with like AI. Like I even like said something about how, AI cannot physically paint murals yet. So that's the leverage that us human artists have over AI. And they're not, I mean, yeah, they can pack paintings too, but they're not going to do it love. You feel me? You can't make a human connection with a robot. You know what I'm saying? You see how we're making a human connection digitally? Robots can't do that. I mean, maybe they can, but you can't make a human connection with a robot.
But obviously, like I can speak to like, like the Stan Lee piece, right? Stan Lee, New York icon, created probably the most notable figures in comic book media history, you know what I'm saying? And me coming from the Bronx, it's a little, you know, touch for me as well, you know what I'm saying? Like Spider-Man is you know, Spider-Man sheets, Spider-Man watch, Spider-Man book bag growing up. We know the vibe, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but like you said, we can have that connection, right? A robot doesn't have the same emotional connection as creating an AI piece of Stanley, and I understand that point. Like the emotion behind the art is honestly the leverage, as you say, that human artists have.
Yeah,
definitely. So honestly, like, bro, this has been a great interview. I just want to ask you, just for your final question, like, what are 3 highlights that have, you know, that have happened in your career that really made you sit down and say, wow, like, I'm an artist. I'm a professional artist.
Okay, great question. I would say, first off, I'll say getting reposted by my favorite brand, Vans. Although it wasn't anything art. No, you know what? It is art related. Everything is art. So I'll say getting reposted by Vans on their Twitter. So the story behind that, I was in LA. I had a rental car for like the whole week and a half I was out there. So I drove to their headquarters. I took pictures with the subtime. I'm like, okay, this is me manifesting something cool with Vans. The next day, they commented on my picture, hey, mind if we repost this to our channels with credit? I'm like, bro, this is crazy. So they reposted it like 3 weeks later. So yeah, I'll say that's a big highlight. The second highlight would be, I'll say the second highlight would be Flo Millie wearing my shirt that I made, that I sent to her. And then the third thing would be just evolving. Like I'm looking at my work from now compared to back then. So those are like the top three highlights.
Fire. And honestly, bro, thank you so much for coming in and like kicking with me and like really sharing your story with me. And like I said, humanizing the mogul behind the pictures, for real. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
But yo, thank you guys for another amazing episode of Kickin with Kachi. You can check out my man Eman at Comikid, COMIKID _Eman, EMAN on Instagram. Hit him up for commissions on logos, paintings, cartoons, animations sometimes as well. Anything under the sun that's a visual, hit him up. He's dope. You can check out this interview and past interviews and updates on future interviews at the DC Voice on Instagram and YouTube. Hit me up at Kachi the Analyst on Instagram if you want to hit me up and check your interview out as well. Hey, yo, we are out of here. Peace.
Let's get it.